Yeah, y'all. One LVZ. Like, share, subscribe. Peckerwood Punisher. Peep game. So the Peckerwood, Michael Bloomberg, decided today that he really don't want to be president. He was just joking. And how do I know that he decided that today? Well, it wasn't like we was going to vote for the Peckerwood anyway. And I'm quite sure Michael ain't one of these disillusioned Peckerwoods that think niggas is just going to vote for him. One of these delusional Peckerwoods that believe niggas going to vote for him. Because it ain't going to happen. Now, we're not voting for none of you Peckerwoods unless it's about reparations. But Michael Bloomberg, some would say, shut his campaign down the minute he came out and said about stop and frisk and the broken windows policies that he ran as mayor, that his response to the black community was my bad. Some people thought that, okay, this nigga, this Peckerwood, this Bloomberg Peckerwood, yeah, he's not gonna be nobody's president. But, and we were right. But he did the usual white politician spiel, especially Democrat white politician spiel. What'd he do? He went to the black churches to tell people it's bad. He didn't mean to lock up your brother on stop and frisk. Okay, well, that's okay. We apology not accepted, but we won't mean to vote for you, Mike. Now, one would think that that took the cake. But then when I show you what Michael Bloomberg just recently did, you will find out that obviously Michael Bloomberg has really could care less about being president. And not only that, it's a few other things we're going to find out that Michael Bloomberg doesn't have after we cue this video up. When I saw it, I immediately said, huh? I mean, immediately, what? Is this white man on crack? That's what I said. Now, I'm not one that runs around with, oh, well, I mean, all white folks ain't bad. I'm gonna look at that too. Oh shit, well, while we here, let me let y'all see that. We're gonna look at this together then. We'll look at this together.
Royals? Cardinals. Rivalries are tough. Saving money with Geico is easy.
The effects of a brain hemorrhage suffered 2 weeks ago, claiming the life of former NBA Commissioner David Stern.
David Stern made it possible for the NBA to scramble from the brink of bankruptcy and irrelevance to a position of global significance unthinkable in the dark days of the late 1970s.
The dark days.
Stern is credited with expanding the number
The
of
dark
NBA
days was
franchises
because
in
we
the
was
US,
black
as well
playing
as
back.
growing its popularity all around the world.
Because of David, the NBA is a truly global brand.
There's no doubt the passing of former NBA Commissioner David Stern was led to a celebration of life. Stern saw what the NBA could be using his savvy business mindset to grow the game. He inherited drug problems across the association, bankruptcy-riddled teams, and the NBA Finals on tape delay. He created the slam dunk contest with Rick Welts, formed the Dream Team, broadcasted the NBA Draft Lottery in 1985, and grew the NBA globally. While great, like many others in big business, he was imperfect.
The country, and particularly the news outlets, are consumed by the subject that you must do. And the answer is, we had a rule, someone didn't follow it, and I asked him to not come out on the court without being prepared to stand. He said no, and under the rules he was suspended for a day, for a game.
While he acknowledged the president's Twitter account dangling the keys to distract the masses from Puerto Rico, floods, Scott Pruitt's imbecilic nature when head of the EPA, he pointed to a blueprint that history should not applaud, rather shun. Stern spoke on Colin Kaepernick, the famed NFL quarterback who was one win away from a Super Bowl, transcended the game and displayed the potential for this style of quarterbacking, yet was pushed out of the league for protesting systemic racism and racial oppression in the United States. Stern said that Kaepernick should have been suspended by the NFL when he first began kneeling, and if he had been, his career would have been able to continue. Stern chooses rhetoric of discipline the player to save the player. In the 1995-96 season, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, then a Denver Nugget, protested during the national anthem.
He found a compromise solution: to stand and pray during the anthem.
Citing,
it's also a symbol of oppression, of tyranny.
So, Stern invoked this.
Players are to stand during the playing of the national anthem.
Which led to this.
This was the fans' response to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, the Nuggets player who stood and cupped his hands in front of his face in traditional Islamic prayer.
Stern did not welcome Rauf's dissent, but punished him, and virtue signaled to the masses, despise this action. Rauf was kicked out of the league, endured death threats, and had his home burned to the ground. He was out of the league at 29 years old. Craig Hodges was a sharpshooter for the Bulls, playing with Michael Jordan, winning 2 championships, and only one of 2 men ever to win 3 straight three-point contests. When Rodney King was beaten by LA police, who were later found not guilty, Hodges approached MJ and Magic Johnson to protest racial inequality. They passed. When the Bulls visited the White House, Hodges wore a dashiki and wrote a letter to then President George Bush. When the King riots struck Southern California, Hodges urged MJ to use his platform. MJ replied, "I need to know more about it." He called out MJ. 25 days later, Hodges was released by the Bulls with not a single team returning his agent's calls. David Stern said nothing on the subject, but per Hodges, actions speak louder than words. Of course I was blacklisted, he says, but if I say that, oh, it's sour grapes.
What do you remember about implementing the dress code? All I know is that the union said it was a good thing to do. I did it, and then they attacked me on it.
In 2005, Stern instituted the historic dress code. Jason Richardson was in the league for 14 years and said one thing to me that was kind of racist was you can't wear chains outside your clothing. I don't understand what that has to do with being business approachable. You wear a suit, you still can be a crook. You see all what happened with Enron, Martha Stewart. Just because you dress a certain way doesn't mean you're that way. Hey, a guy could come in with baggy jeans, a do-rag, and have a PhD, and a person who comes in with a suit could be a 3-time felon. Then there's Donald Sterling, former chairman of the Los Angeles Clippers, previously in San Diego, an aloof leader. Sterling was and is to this day a racist that Stern never punished. Sterling would show off his players to his friends, and I quote, "Look at all those beautiful black bodies." Former #1 pick Danny Manning stormed out of Sterling's Beverly Hills home when Sterling remarked the team's offer was a lot of money for a poor black. He's faced numerous allegations that he discriminated against would-be renters based on race.
How
Housing
is
Rights
this
Center,
different?
a nonprofit advocacy.
How would this Peckerwood saying different from my video? He literally stole everything I told you in my video. Anyway. Y'all see that? Y'all see the... He literally stole everything I told you about David Stern. Okay, so I was telling you about Michael Bloomberg. Let me show y'all about race. That motherfucking Peckerwood stole my whole video. Anyway. I'm gonna show y'all some shit. I want y'all to see when that Michael Bloomberg has officially taken himself out of the race.
Passion. With the help of Blue.
And y'all tell me. And I want y'all to notice some shit.
Here's Michael Bloomberg, who, as you know, is spent I don't know how many hundreds. Has he spent $100 million already? I mean. I don't know. He's spent so many dollars. This is.
I'm not even gonna set this up. I just want you to hear this. They're gonna ask him
about jail.
They're gonna ask him about the Central Park 5, the people that he didn't give reparations to. Listen to what he has to say.
You'd be Michael Bloomberg.
We started talking about race, and a subject that's come up a lot is the Central Park 5. And when you were mayor of New York, you defended the city and the police department's handling of the Central Park 5 case. You argued that they both acted in good faith. Do you still believe that today? And do you think that
I really have no idea. I've read in the paper. I've been away from government for a long time. So apparently the courts have ruled that they did not commit it.
Now, I want y'all to look at that black lady and that. You see the coon and the mammy he got up here? But I want you to look at the mammy. Look how the mammy looks at him.
Talking about race, and a subject that's come up a lot is the Central Park 5.
As he speaks.
When you were mayor of New York, you defended the city and the police department.
Actually, look at this
Central Park 5 case. You argued that they both acted in good faith. Do you still believe that today? And do you think that
I really have no idea. I've read in the paper. I've been away from government
Actually,
for
look
a
at
long
motherfucker.
time.
What? I got Netflix.
So apparently the courts have ruled that they did not commit a crime, and that's the final word, and we just have to accept that.
But
it isn't a question of what anybody believes.
At the time, you did not believe that, and so I'm saying, have you changed your stance on that?
I think there was an awful lot of evidence presented at that time that they were involved.
Did y'all hear that? The cracker don't even want to say that the Central Park 5 didn't do it.
Do you still believe that today? And do you think that
I really have no idea. I've read in the paper. I've been away from government for a long time. So apparently the courts have ruled that they did not commit a crime, and that's the final word, and we just have to accept that. But it isn't a question of what anybody believes.
At the time, you did not believe that, and so I'm saying, have you changed your stance on that?
I think there was an awful lot of evidence presented at that time that they were involved. There's been questions since
the way that lady
looking
at
that evidence.
It's like what?
And so I've been away from it for so long. I just really can't respond because I just don't remember. But there's been plenty.
I've been away from government so long, I don't know. I can't remember. So you don't got Netflix, motherfucker? A documentary just came on last year. So you don't got cable TV? They just got reparations from Mayor de Blasio just recently. So you don't read the newspaper? Michael Bloomberg doesn't know who the Central Park 5 are. He can't remember. Well, guess what, Mr. Bloomberg? You Peckerwood. I can't remember to go to the ballot box. Good luck with President Trump. 1 LVC. Peckerwood.